Indeed, it is Monday, and it's been a great day, man. It really has been a great day. I've been getting stuff done. I've had some great phone calls, making some plans on how we can make this channel even better. And yes, after the election is when I'm gonna get back to some cool nerd programming. I'm gonna be doing movie reviews, television show reviews, and all of that stuff. But we gonna wait till after the election to do that, which is only a handful of weeks away. Just so that the algorithms can change up a little bit. But anyway, we do it. It is Monday. Mara, hello, sister. What's going on? How you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. We got Distracted Garden in the building. It's about 80 degrees here in St. Louis. It's a bit humid, but it's a nice day. But again, things are coming along well. I got some really cool programming coming that I'm gonna do with some people after the election, which is a few, well, what, like 5 weeks away now. So I'm excited about that. I've been getting all of that stuff ready. We got Libby, Luke, Annie Corporatist, Queen Fritza. Hello, hello. What's going on? And I'm sorry about yesterday. I know some of y'all was in the stream I had scheduled. I took it down on the software, but I guess it didn't come through on the YouTube. But but yeah, I'm most of that stuff. Hold on, we got Kenny in the building. What's going on? Oh, thank you, Libby. Yes, I got you know what I'm saying? I got the Batman legendary book in the background right there. Got some other stuff. Yeah, it's coming along well. But thank y'all for being here. Today's stream is probably going to be pretty quick because there's not that much stuff to go through. And again, I've been working all day and I've had other stuff going on. But I'm excited. And tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow is the debate between JD Vance and Tim Walz, and obviously not nearly as many people are going to watch that as they watch the Biden and Harris debate. But a lot of people will still watch it. So we're going to review it after it is done. I don't anticipate JD Vance to do very well. I mean, among other things, even if you take out like the ridiculous rhetoric and the crazy stances that he's come out with, he doesn't have a record. Like he hasn't done anything as a politician, and Tim Walz has. Tim Walz was in the House of Representative for years. He's been governor for years, and so he has a lot to talk about. But JD Vance really doesn't. We got Ulysse in the building. You say any corporatist, I'm doing stuff after the election too. All right, exactly. Depending on how it turns out, you might have to go ahead and get up out of here, go up to more friendly Canada. I'm doing good, Ulysse. Um, oh yeah, and it was Fritz's birthday the other day, so everybody wished the queen herself a happy birthday. Such a wonderful woman Fritza is, and how she provides positivity and happiness, and she'll spank that ass too. You know what I'm saying? She got all of that going on. She'll slap you into shape, but she'll also give you the best food you've ever had, and she's just a lovely woman, and I appreciate her very much. So thank you. You said you can't read what my shirt says. Yes, indeed, backwoods it is. You did. We got everything going on right now. We got the Reefer Madness. We got Batman, two Batmans. We got the Harry Potter poster, and we got the backwoods. You feel me? So go ahead and roll you up a good one. But yeah, any corporate is for. I'm gonna go ahead and wait till after the election to start up with the rest of the programming because it just makes more sense. You know what I mean? Like in terms of what people are searching for and how the algorithms are going, and it just makes more sense to do it then. So yeah, that's the thinking. Now let's go ahead and roll through everything today because again, this stream probably won't be all that long today. Um, Kamala Harris did another. Well, she's been doing a bunch of interviews, and I mean, well, there's really not that much to say about them. That she's, like it's just an interview. It was funny at one point. People were thinking that she couldn't do interviews, but I mean, now it's just kind of a every other day type of deal. All right, where are we gonna start with? Let's start with some of these Trump hits from over the weekend. We're gonna start with some of these hits. My man's was calling for the purge. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, we got to have a purge. That's the only way that we gonna solve crime in this country. Just give people 1 hour, give people 1 day to just do what they want." All right, so let's check it out. We got some videos too, but first we're gonna read through this. Donald Trump suggests 1 rough hour of policing will end theft, which is ridiculous because letting police do whatever they want for an hour would not solve the issue of poverty, which is generally why people steal things. I mean, sure, you have, you have your people, what do they call them, kleptomaniacs, who just like to steal shit. But most people who steal things, they're just hungry. They don't have very many legitimate ways of making money, or whatever it may be. So obviously this would do nothing. My man said, hold on, we're gonna read through it. Donald Trump has suggested that one rough hour of law enforcement action would tamp down retail theft, an echo of his longstanding support for more aggressive and potentially violent policing. One rough hour, and I mean real rough. The word will get out and it will end immediately, It will end immediately. And then everybody at the rally was like, yeah. The word will get out. I mean, again, as if police violence isn't already something that people are aware of and that we struggle with as a society. So I mean, obviously this wouldn't work, but it's Donald Trump. Trump has ramped up his rhetoric with just over a month before Election Day, describing immigrants in the U.S. illegally as criminals. And yes, he calls them illegal criminals, illegal aliens, he calls them, intent on harming native born Americans and suggesting crime has skyrocketed despite national statistics showing the opposite. But the national real statistics, the labor statistics, the any of the official points of data that you can get, of course, that's all a bunch of nonsense. Whatever Donald Trump says, that's the truth right there. The former president has a long history of encouraging rough treatment. Remember at his rally, he was like, I'll pay your legal fees. Beat the hell out of them. But yeah, so let's go ahead and check out some of these clips. Let's get to these clips real quick. Hold on, we got exactly. It's just the plot of the Purge. Hold on, where she went down to the border and she was like, "If you could, not only are we going to deport you." I've been keeping up with pretty much everything that's been going on. Kamala's doing her best to court those border state voters who think that is a big deal, or not that think it's a big deal, but she's doing her best to court all the voters she can into her coalition. And then after she becomes president, because she's almost certainly going to win this election, then her coalition will break up in different. Some people will leave, some people will stay, depending on what she does or doesn't do. So yeah, I saw that she's doing everything I mean, she's basically campaigning like a Democrat. That's typically how Democrats campaign. Um, you know, Try to like all of the above, just like kind of how the Democratic Party approaches like energy, for instance. Like we're still gonna drill, we're still gonna frack, but we're also gonna make investments in clean energy. So yeah, that's just how they do. That's what they do. We got Doctor Who gives a F in the building. What's going on? How you doing? Now let's get to these clips. Let's get to these clips right here. All right, here we go. Now in this one, oh yeah, this is the funny part right here. My man's like, you're trying to court. I mean, at this point, I really don't think there's a significant amount of undecided voters. I really don't, for a lot of reasons, but mostly because Donald Trump has been running for president for 10 years. So, like, in that time, he really hasn't expanded his base. So it's how many, so, but nonetheless, with a month out, you shouldn't be saying things like this. Remember when he did that interview with Elon Musk, he was like, Elon, you bust up those union buster, you come in there and you tell them to get the hell out of here. And now he's like, nah, I don't like paying. Well, he don't like paying people at all, let alone overtime pay.
And it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people. I shouldn't say this, but I'd get it.
Yeah, you shouldn't say it. He said, I hated giving people overtime. I know all about it. I hated it.
Other people in.
But keep in mind, Trump don't like paying people anyway. He owes tens of thousands of dollars to municipalities all over the country. $50,000 here, $30,000 there, $20,000 over there too. Like he'll just come do his rallies and then he won't pay the police department or anybody for their time.
Wouldn't pay. I hated. This is going to lead to a lot more. I think it's going to be economically positive, but I'm not.
What is he? Okay, let's see where he went with this.
And it's going to lead to great things. A lot of people don't give. I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated
He said instead of paying people overtime, like, bro, why are you saying this? Like, he said instead of paying people overtime, I would just get other people in. So I would hire extra staff just so I wouldn't have to pay you motherfuckers overtime, which probably equates to like the same amount of money. I don't know, but he, just the principle of the matter. He's a principled man. He ain't gonna give you no overtime.
This is going to lead to a lot more. I think it's going to. I hated it. I'd get other people. I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in. I wouldn't pay. I hated. This is going to lead to a lot more. I think it's going to be economically positive, but I'm not even doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because, like the no tax on overtime. It's something so good.
What is he talking about? Well, who knows? It's Donald Trump. He said, I hated overtime. I would just get other people in there. Right, exactly. Dude, then go ahead and give me your time. I ain't gonna pay you for it though, because you should just be honored. You know what I'm saying? You should just be honored to do work for me. Yeah, exactly, Kitty. It's not even just the overtime. He don't like to pay you, period. That's just hilarious that he's saying this out loud. But it's Donald Trump, so this is what he does. Okay, what's this here? Where we got Trump in Pennsylvania blames Biden for his small crowd yesterday in Wisconsin. Oh, yeah, I think this is where he said something about security. Let's see.
Wisconsin yesterday, and except for the fact that the administration would not let us have we had 50,000, maybe more people, and we were going to do an outdoor rally, and we ended up having to do it inside in front of about 1,000 people. But we had 50,000 people that showed up, but they didn't want me to be outside. They said,
nobody would be talking about his rally sizes and his crowd sizes if he didn't care about it so much. Like literally nobody would be discussing it because, your crowd size is a reflection of how popular you are with certain groups of people. But other than that, it just doesn't say very much. It doesn't say very much about who's actually going to vote for you and where they're going to do it. But Donald Trump, this is what he lives for. This is everything to him. In 2016, when he was doing like 3 to 5 rallies a day, that's what he lives for. The applause, the attention from the audience. When he says something, the crowd reacts. That's what this is all about to him. So that's why he talks about this shit like this, when in reality, nobody really gives a damn.
They couldn't get us.
We had 50,000 people outside, but we couldn't do that. So instead, we did it inside and only 1,000 people could show up. That's why if you look at the pictures, there's not quite so many people in my rally side. Like, he's such a little kid.
Enough people because they were guarding the United Nations and Iran. The president of Iran is here.
Oh, we got Mike Boy, Big Unc in the building. My man's been upgraded. He Big Unc Mike Boy now. Big Unc in the building. What's going on? But yeah, no, this we be a bit of a quicker stream today. Again, I just got off the phone with somebody out in LA. I'm gonna start doing some shows with after the election. We're gonna be doing some movie review. It's gonna be really cool, but I'm getting some stuff set up. And all the other programming I'm doing, I'm just gonna wait till after the election. If you haven't heard me say that already. But yes, we're just going through the reels. Trump on elections. I'm here because they cheat. They cheat in this state, and okay, let's just listen to it.
I'm here only because they cheat, and they cheat in this state, especially in Philadelphia. And I'll mention a couple of the areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control, because if there was no cheating, if God came...
All the places where there are lots of black voters, they're all out of control. Atlanta, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., all the places where there are more minorities. They just cheat because they don't vote for me.
And it sounded like he's about to say, if God came down again. But let's listen.
Atlanta is out of control. Places are out of control in Philadelphia. And I'll mention a couple of the areas, but for the most part, but Philadelphia is out of control. Detroit is out of control. Atlanta is out of control.
Philadelphia, Detroit, and Atlanta, all that have heavy black populations, they're out of control.
Places are out of control, because if there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this.
If God came down from a high.
down from a high, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator for this election, I would leave this podium right now because I wouldn't have to speak. We wouldn't have.
He's the most ridiculous person ever. If God came down and rigged the election for me, I wouldn't even have to campaign. But because God is, being lazy up in the clouds, doing his whatever he's doing, then I have to campaign. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be here in front of you people. What would be the point? You look at all the black cities with the high black populations and people vote.
Have any problem. We have to have a landslide because they cheat so
He's
damn
there
much.
from a
We have to
high.
have a landslide.
God came down from a high. Oh man, this dude is so unintentional. He's so hilarious without even trying to be. This dude said if God had something to do with these elections, if God was a vote counter, then I would win. Because God is permanently and only on the side of Donald Trump. Nobody else. God don't give a damn about nobody else but Donald Trump. All right, what's this here? This is where. Oh yes, this is where he says Joe Biden became cognitively impaired, but Kamala Harris was born that way, which is unbelievably hilarious because he's just projecting, but also, like, dude, your debate with Kamala Harris was one of the most laugh-worthy things ever. People all over the world are laughing at you still over your debate performance. Your horrible, terrible debate that you lost. And you sitting here saying that if she's mentally impaired, then what are you? It's so ridiculous.
It'll end immediately. Crooked Joe Biden became mentally impaired, sad. But lying Kamala Harris, honestly, I believe she was born that way. There's something wrong with Kamala. And I just don't know what it is, but there is definitely something missing. And you know what? Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it. That's why she's beating me. She's mentally impaired. She was born that way. Everybody knows there's something wrong with Kamala Harris. And that's why she's beating me. And all the polls and all the fundraising and voter enthusiasm in the demographics, when you look at the women vote, she's beating me by over 30 points. She's beating me by over 30 points with the youth vote. Many Republicans around the country are going to be voting for Kamala instead of Donald Trump, but there's something wrong with her. She's the one who's mentally impaired and not me. Oh my God, this guy, man. Trump. Kamala is a stupid person. I don't care.
USA, this is what we're bringing. But we're bringing them in at levels that nobody's ever seen, and we're doing it by stupid people like Kamala. She's a stupid person. Stupid person.
He's a stupid person.
I don't care. I don't care.
No, y'all in here talking about infused ice cream and y'all talking about what strands of weed God is smoking on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, God came down from a high. He was smoking and then his tolerance went up too much and then he came down. And he said, I need to take a break for a couple of days at least so that I can feel this once again. My man said, she's a stupid person. Again, so then what are you? If you had one really violent day, okay, here we go.
Out that the 950 is a misnomer because you can steal whatever you want, you can go way above. But you'd see, originally you saw kids walk in with calculators. They were calculators. They didn't want to go over the $950. They're standing with calculators, adding it up. These are smart people. They're not so stupid. They have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here.
Have you all seen that movie, The Purge? You see how effective it was in that movie? Did you see that? That's what we need to do here in the United States. It's the only way. It's the only way.
He's a great congressman. Would you say, Mike, that if you were in charge, you would say, "Oh, please, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Let them rob your store. Let all these stores go out of business, right? They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have the whole. It's a chain of events. It's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out, and it will end immediately."
Like, we're so used to this dude, but the things that he says really are just outrageous. This dude, for an hour, real rough. Like, what does that mean, bro? Like, police already be shooting people and getting away with it. What does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like when you really translate this into reality, it's like, okay, does that mean that police are gonna, okay, just beat up citizens, or does it mean that like anybody who's in lockup, like if you're in lockup, then they just beat you? Like, what does this mean? And it's just like it is just a brazen call for major violence, for massive violence. And it's just like Trump's, and then the media is like, Trump ramps up his rhetoric. Like the media really, well, not all of it, because a lot of the media does I appropriately talk about him, but like like CNN in places like that, they'll be like, Trump ramps up rhetoric. Like, no, he's calling for violence. Just say that because that's what he's doing.
Lying Kamala.
Kamala Harris lies about everything, and that's why they call her Lion Kamala. Lyin apostrophe. Lion. Lion. She's a liar. She lies about everything. She makes up stories about me. But yesterday,
Lying Kamala. Lyin. I think that's how you spell it. I believe that's how you spell it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, what do we have here?
imagine there is no, and I say it all the time, if you wanted to do a movie on some of these people that you're going to be looking at in 2 minutes, if you wanted to do a movie, there's no actor in Hollywood that could play the role. There's nobody that could do it. These actors, you know, they're a little bit shaky. They can't play the role. They'll bring in a big actor and you look, you say, oh, he's got no muscle content. Got no muscle. We need a little muscle. Then
You need a little muscle. You got no muscle content.
bring in another one, but he's got a weak face. He looks weak. No, these guys have the whole package. Unfortunately for our country, I watched one of them.
And then in the corner, there's an advertisement for some shit he's selling. Patriot Addict deals. Patriot Addict deals. And then on the side, what's this? Some type of a Trump lighter.
Shouting.
Trump arc lighter. He's such a con artist. He's just a grifter. He's always selling something, shamelessly selling something. And we went over last week. This dude is selling $100,000 watches. And then when you dig deeper into it, like Midas Touch, they went more into it and they looked at like the like where these businesses are located. And then like on Google Maps, it's just like the headquarters is some blurred out house that clearly nothing's really going on there. And then the disclaimers, they're like, the watch you receive might not look like the watch that you're looking at. You know, you spend $100,000 on something and it might not look the way that you think it will. So just be prepared for that.
At a judge, I kill you. I kill you when I get out. I kill you. And, you know, the judge is like, oh, he's never heard this stuff. And even the guards, you know, they want to look for a new job themselves. I kill you.
What? I don't even know what he was talking about right there, other than central casting. Donald Trump knows somebody who fits the role when he sees it.
You need somebody with a little muscle.
Mr. Wall. I love this guy's outfit.
You know, I built hundreds of miles of wall. I'm going to buy one of those and come out here. I built hundreds of miles of wall and it worked. And I was going to add another 200 miles, and then we had a very disruptive election. Horrible thing happened.
Horrible thing happened. I lost. We had a very disruptive election where I fairly lost fair and square. I got 75 million votes. By the way, he's not going to get 75 million votes this time. I got 75 million votes, and somehow I lost to Joe Biden, who got 81 million votes. I don't really understand how that works. How could I get 75 million votes and still lose the election? because Joe Biden got more votes than you in the right places. That's how you lost the election. But you know, he can't fathom that. Okay, what is this?
No, this is a radical left lunatic we're dealing with. By the way, if she wins, it's not going to be so pleasant for me, but I don't care.
That's hilarious. If she wins, it's not going to be so pleasant for me. That's true. That is true. If she wins, you're almost he's going to prison. If she wins, which she almost certainly will, Donald Trump is going to be spending the rest of his life in and out of court, trying to appeal this, trying to appeal that. It's not looking good for him, man. It's really not looking good for him, and he still has um several criminal trials that he has to go forth with. But yeah, no, he's not going to get among other things, he's not the incumbent president anymore. So there's kind of not like that default vote that he's going to get. Kamala might not get 81 million votes. Don't know how many votes she's going to get, but Trump's not going to get 75 million votes this time around. But we going to find out. We will find out in a handful of weeks. But yeah, that's hilarious that he says that he doesn't care.
It's going to be pretty bad for me if Kamala wins. I don't care though.
Of course you care. Hurricane Helene is really causing a lot of damage. And as we talked about on Indisputable, me and Yasmin on Friday, this is one of the, climate change is one of those issues that really can't be dealt with marginal steps forward, with marginal changes. I gave the example of how a lot of the time when it comes to the economy, big fixes can be made with marginal changes, like changing the tax code a little bit can make a huge difference. Raising people's wages a little bit can make a huge difference. Like what program, if funding Medicare or Medicaid has massive impacts, but the climate is something that is in nature. We can't directly control it. We've been making it worse. We know we've been making it worse, speeding up climate change with our uses of fossil fuels. We know this. We've been known it. There's no debate to be had. But the Republican Party has proven itself to be completely incapable of dealing with many issues, but particularly this one. I'll raise the point, and I think it's a good point. The Environmental Protection Agency was started under a Republican administration, under the Nixon administration. They went from starting the Environmental Protection Agency to pretending like climate change is just a hoax. It's just a hoax. It's all a lie. Nobody should really have to worry about it. When you got the coast going underwater, well, that's just more beachfront property. Just BS like that. So this just absolutely is not something that Republicans can properly address. While the Democratic Party has many issues, you know, doing something about our infrastructure for climate change, Democrats will do that. Democrats will raise the minimum wage. Democrats will do stuff like that, but Republicans, nah, they ain't doing it. So the death toll from Hurricane Helene tops 100. As the number of storm-related deaths climbs past 100 across the Southeast, authorities were rushing to airdrop supplies, restore power, and clear roads after massive rains from Hurricane Helene left people stranded and without shelter. President Biden said Monday morning that he planned to visit the disaster area later this week. The president said he didn't want to survey the damage too soon and divert resources from response efforts. Mr. Biden told reporters at the White House there were reports that 600 people were unaccounted for following the storm, which knocked out communications of affected areas. God willing, they're alive, but there's no way to contact them, Mr. Biden said. Mr. Biden's Homeland Security Advisor, Liz Sherwood Randall, told reporters Monday over 3,500 federal response personnel were deployed to the area, and the number of urban search and rescue personnel would be up to 1,250 in the coming days. Former President Donald Trump visited Valdosta, Georgia, just north of the Florida-Georgia state line Monday afternoon. Wearing one of his red Make America Great Again campaign hats, Trump shook hands and spoke with supporters. Helene killed at least 118 people. CBS News confirmed the storm appears to have inflicted its worst damage in the Carolinas, where officials said more than 70 people have been found dead. Damn. Imagine how terrifying that would be to be in the middle of something like that. Agreed, Donald. Agreed. But yeah, in my lifetime, in all of our lifetimes, we've seen weather patterns get progressively worse. I mean, even here, like here in Missouri, when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, it used to snow quite a bit in the wintertime. Now, it really don't do that much now, like hardly ever at all. You got places, the climate's just all out of whack. And also big oil, that kind of reminds me of lead. They used to put lead into everything. Um, lead in paint, lead in all types of products, and lead is toxic to any type of biological life form. And scientists and the people behind big lead businesses, they knew that, but the money was flowing, and they made it the way that they made it, so they didn't want to change things up. And I can't remember the guy's name. One of the scientists who was one of the leading fighters against the lead industry. For decades, he fought against them, and because of his efforts, lead is not really in many products anymore, the way that it used to be, just in absolutely everything. Again, just an example of how when people are making a lot of money, after a while, it's easy. You got your infrastructure set up, the money's rolling, it's easy. So they didn't want to disturb that. Um, but we have seen, not even just with lead, but I believe in humanity because no matter what you look at, typically what people do is we rise up and we overcome. That's typically what we do. And it's because of good everyday people that we're able to do that. People who dedicate their lives to making a difference. All right, hold on. Let me catch up with this real quick. um, in the devastated city of Asheville, North Carolina, Megan Dry watched as her 7-year-old son Mika and her parents got swept away into the flood. They were stranded on a roof when it collapsed into the water. Megan Dry was rescued. 30 fatalities were reported in Buncombe County, which includes Asheville. More than 95,000 Buncombe County homes and businesses had no power Monday afternoon, according to utility tracker Find Energy. Buncombe County Manager Avril Pender pledged in a call with reporters Sunday that she would have food and water to the city by Monday, the Associated Press reported. In North Carolina, 46 people were killed. Some of the damage right there. And again, when you're in the middle of something like this, what can you do other than pray and hope? What can you do? You can't go outside and run away. Staying inside could be dangerous. You're just, in a lot of ways, you're totally helpless when stuff like this goes down. In South Carolina, 29 people died from the storm. Governor Henry McMaster announced Monday the deaths include 2 firefighters and 2 people who were killed when trees fell on residences. And here's the power outages all through the East Coast. So yeah, big time damage. People coming together, doing what they can to help everybody out. Yeah, Helene is. I mean, again, like you're in a situation like this, nothing matters but your survival. None of those, your belongings, things that you thought were so important. Obviously, you may care about them later, but when you're in the middle of something like this, fuck your cell phone, fuck everything. You're just doing your best to survive. Hmm. Hold on. Look at this. This is Florida on the 27th. And again, this is what Donald Trump when he's like, more beachfront property. It like this is this what you mean? Like I don't. This is Helene from above. Exceptionally warm Gulf waters fuels hurricanes. Record warm water in the Gulf almost certainly acted like jet fuel in intensifying the storm. And again, if you're in a situation like this, all that really matters is that you're okay. You go through some stuff like this. This is really what shows what really matters in life: your relationships and the connections that you have. And unfortunately, oftentimes it takes very big disasters for people to come together and realize that we're all the same, pretty much. All right. Now, here we go. Where we at now? We saw how yeah, in Nebraska, Lindsey Graham was making efforts to do a winner take all electoral thing, but that's not going to happen. And this may not happen either. The Georgia rule to have all the ballots hand counted. From what I saw from different attorneys talking about it, that it's illegal, and obviously we know that it would play to greatly slow down the certification. But that may not they may not even do that either because it's there's a lot of legal issues. But again, that's also what I was pointing out. Anything that Republicans are doing to try to, cheat in this election, um, the Democrats are on it in terms of like suing them and trying to be on like not even just Democrats, but anybody involved in like getting out the vote and stuff like that. It's people seem to be pretty vigilant. Democrats filed a lawsuit Monday looking to block a controversial rule requiring ballots to be hand counted by local precincts in Georgia, arguing it violated Georgia law and called it improper. A group of Democrats, including the Democratic National Committee and Georgia Democratic Party, are bringing a lawsuit against the Georgia State Election Board after the board passed a new rule earlier this month ordering for. Where were we? I hate when it does that. Earlier this month ordering for ballots to be hand counted in addition to their routine machine tabulation. The lawsuit, which is backed by the Harris campaign, argues that the new rule adds an additional hurdle to Georgia's established process for collecting and tabulating ballots, as poll workers will need to make sure that a machine tabulation of election day ballots matches a hand count done by poll workers. The lawsuit argues that if both numbers do not match, the rule makes it unclear how to actually resolve the discrepancy between the two. Also, in terms of an argument, this costs the taxpayers more money. Democrats also argue that the hand count rule is unlawful, saying in their lawsuit that, quote, it improperly adds a new requirement to the election code beyond what the General Assembly contemplated and conflicts with the statutes the General Assembly did enact, in particular by shifting part of the responsibility to oversee the tabulation of ballots from the county board to workers at individual precincts. And they argue the board exceeded its rulemaking authority, among other criticisms. The lawsuit also notes that several state officials have raised concerns over the hand count ballot rules, some of whom are Republicans: Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Quote, as Donald Trump invents facts to try to sow doubt in our elections, his MAGA allies in Georgia passed a new rule just weeks before Election Day that will obstruct the process of, God damn, I hate when it does that. That will obstruct these ads, be making the page jump all over the place. Where was I? Here. Just weeks before Election Day, that will obstruct the process of counting votes so they can complain when voters reject Trump at the polls. We agree with Georgia Republican Attorney General and Secretary of State. The rule is unproductive and unlawful, and we are fighting it. Democrats are stepping in to ensure that Georgia voters can cast their ballots knowing that they will be counted in a free and fair election. So we'll keep our eyes on this. Um, we'll keep our eyes on it. Whatever they can do, they doing it. This is hilarious right here. Donald Trump saying nobody knew, nobody thought that a hurricane would hit this time of year, even though it's hurricane season. Nobody thought. You know what I'm saying? Trump claims nobody thought a hurricane would hit this time of year. Yeah, nobody thought.
Throughout Georgia, as well as North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Virginia, Alabama, and Tennessee. That's our big one. And the devastation wrought by the storm is incredible. It's so extensive. Nobody thought this would be happening, especially now it's so late in the season for the hurricanes.
he he again, just a small quick example of how Donald Trump, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't. Yeah, yes, he's very unintelligent, but the bigger issue, because you can be less intelligent and still put forth an effort. You know what I mean? Donald Trump is not interested in anything. All Trump's interested in is how he's perceived and conning people. That's how he sees other human beings. That's how he sees the world. How can I get over on you? How can I trick you? How can I play you? It's always a constant way to fill the hole that is inside of him, a way to boost his ego. That's all anything is. And because of that, he's never really put in the time to learn about anything because he doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. He doesn't think that matters. He thinks knowledge is for suckers and losers, you know. So that's in addition to him just being generally unintelligent, what's more important is he's uncurious. He doesn't care about anything. Because again, you can be a little less intelligent and put forth a strong effort and be just fine. Like it's so yeah. All right, what is this? Oh yeah, we already played that Trump bragging about how he doesn't like to pay people overtime. But we know that Donald Trump, he doesn't really like to pay people anyway. Okay, so what we got with Trump shouting into the zeitgeist, screaming into the universe. Hold on, let me pull this up. What's my man's talking about right now? We got
What Comrade Kamala Harris has done to our country at the border by allowing 13,099 murderers to roam openly.
okay. Where is this? Where is he getting this from? And how and why is this number so exact? So there's 13,099 murderers just roaming openly. Okay, so again, this goes into his rhetoric, I guess, about how Mexico, they release people from their prisons and their insane asylums. So that's how they know exactly the amount. And then when they came over, you know what I'm saying? Like the United States government was like, oh, there's 13,099 murderers. Bah, just let them walk around and do whatever they feel like, because that's how things work. So we continue.
What Comrade Kamala has done to our country at the border by allowing 13,099 murderers to roam openly and be free to kill us is the crime of the century. They have already killed many people, and this is just the beginning. She should be in.
I need a warm drink.
She should be impeached, prosecuted, or both. But the incredible thing is that the fake news media does everything possible not to pick this story up. 13,099 murderers are on the loose in our country because of Kamala Harris. And they just don't want to report it. The fake news is helping Kamala to destroy our country. They are totally corrupt. They just can't find worse or less patriotic people. We need an honest media to guard our country.
God, this guy, I mean, there aren't words for how pathetic this dude is. Like he's one of the most shameless people I've ever seen. Like he doesn't care. Like he just says anything. He just says anything. And ultimately it doesn't really help him that much. Like this type of shit doesn't help him. But he just constantly says it. Like this dude got his ass whooped by Kamala Harris on the debate stage in front of the whole world. And he just goes around saying,
I won by a lot. It was 3-on-1. It was unfair, but I still won by a lot.
like, God, this guy, he's just completely vapid. He is an empty person, just completely empty. 13,099 murderers are on the loose. What?
And the fake news, they just don't want to report it.
Like, I mean, he's just, oh my God. I don't know, like, where is he getting this from? Did he just look at, like, maybe he looked at an estimation that said, the FBI assumes that there's 13,099 murderers in the country. Maybe that's what he saw. Maybe he saw something like that. I don't know. Or it could just be some shit that he's just completely making up. Like 13,099. Oh, we got the Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene beef has not stopped. It has not ceded. It is still on the go. Let's see what's up. We got jealous Laura Loomer attacks Marjorie Taylor Greene for her football game at Trump's side. Oh, look at her. She extra happy with her man. Look at her. She like, oh, this my boo. This my little boo. Hold on. We got to go to X to read the whole thing. Laura Loomer says,
15 people have died in Georgia during Hurricane Helene, and the state of Georgia is experiencing massive flooding. Instead of being...
Her and Marjorie Taylor Greene both kind of talk alike.
Instead of being in Georgia to help the people of her state, Marjorie Taylor Greene blew them off and decided to go to the football game in Alabama yesterday instead. It speaks volumes to her lack of focus as a congresswoman, and it really shows she is more interested in fanfare as opposed to helping people in her state. Gross negligence from a woman who is unfit to serve.
Hey, well, you kind of right about that, Laura. You kind of on point for calling her out. Where you at? Your state's suffering, and you over here about Trump's side trying to get them points in. But we see the jealousy, Laura. We see the jealousy. Ain't nobody fooled. We see the love triangle that's going on.
A man of the people. President Trump, SEC football. Great to see President Trump tonight in Tuscaloosa. 100K strong to make America great again.
Laura was like, she seen that. She was like,
bitch, get away from my man, bitch.
That's exactly what went down. Exactly. All right, now where we at? Hold on, we got Lady F and T with the 4 months of thank you so much, Lady F and T. Thank you for all the constant support, for the love. Thank you for buying memberships for other people, and thank you for just everything that you do. And thank y'all, everybody, for being here. Thank you. But yeah, this is really something else. Now, where are we now? Oh, did y'all catch this? I know Mike Boy caught this because I think he sent this to me. Yeah, he sent this to me, actually. Either he sent it to me or he posted it on his story, one of the two. Child-free Republican candidate borrows wife and children from friend to pose for campaign photos. I guess, JD Vance, he's spreading that rhetoric, because all you motherfuckers without kids, including me, because I too am a motherfucker with no children. So all us motherfuckers with no kids, right? Who aren't married, because I'm not married either. I probably won't ever get married, to tell you the truth, but I'm not married. And so yeah, he was like, nah, I gotta beat around the bush with this. I can't just say I'm not married. So let's check this out. A Republican congressional candidate posed for a photo with a woman and 3 young girls in an image that could be mistaken for a family holiday card. But the picture, posted on the National Republican Campaign Committee website to promote Derek Anderson's campaign and included in a video on his campaign's YouTube account, is not a family photo at all. They are the wife and children of Anderson's friend. This is hilarious because it's like, Look, man, even if you win this election, whatever, eventually people are going to find out that you're not married and that you don't have kids. It won't take that long for people to figure this out, especially because we live in the digital age and pretty much everything about everybody is online somewhere. So this is, I mean, it already got figured out. So what were they just going to forever and for always pretend like this is ridiculous? Anderson, a former armor Green Beret running for a seat in Congress in Virginia, also was filmed with the woman and her children in footage that was posted to his YouTube channel. The candidate does not have children of his own and is not married. You could have just that could have just been it. Like it could have just been like, hey, I'm a candidate here in Virginia. I got some good ideas. I'm passionate about my community and I want to make it better. And you could have said nothing at all about having a family, and people wouldn't have thought about it. It's not even just that people probably wouldn't have cared that much. They wouldn't have even thought about it. But now, these are the impacts of JD Vance. This is hilarious, though. The candidate does not have children. We just married that. He has separately announced that he is engaged and has filmed himself with his fiance. Why isn't that enough? That could have been just fine. Like, I'm in a committed relationship. She's wonderful. But no, 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 no. No. He lives with his dog, according to his campaign website. The source of the images surfaced in a story from the New York Times titled GOP Candidates Looking to Soften Their Image Turn to Their Wives, that outlined how Republican campaigns are relying on their families as the fight for abortion rights and reproductive health care access takes center stage. Okay, well, I don't see how that's going to help you. Like, haha, I have a family and you don't. Like, but what is that? What that's supposed to be like? Abortion rights don't matter because, look at my family. I have a whole family and we're doing well and you're not. Like, that's basically what that is. Tee hee, I'm better than you because lo and behold. All right, here we go.
Hey folks, Derek and Maggie here. Say hi, Maggie.
Hi.
We're out in Stafford County knocking on doors right now. If I missed you today, I'm writing a note. You can't see it. There it is. Writing notes to everyone, asking for your support.
See, like this could have been just fine, man. Like you could have just posed this. Oh yeah, this is hilarious. Hey, he pretending like this is family. Me and my fake family. Yo, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. He said, exactly, Donald, for what? Like, I don't like, how is this helping you at all? Because again, like, if you would have not brought up a family at all, people wouldn't be thinking about it. And that's what you got to remember, man. A lot of the time, see, now, hopefully, most of us aren't going to lie this badly. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to lie this much. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the time, we get so anxious and caught up about things that we think other people are thinking about us. Man, people ain't thinking about your ass at all. I mean, they might be, but when they, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the time, like you'll mess up on stage and be like, everyone saw it. But nah, man, people don't be noticing shit the way you think they do. They really don't. And oftentimes, people only notice things when you notice it. So because he thought having a family was a massively big deal, now everyone knows that he thinks this. You know what I'm saying? Like if you on stage and you giving a speech and you stumble over your words, just keep going. Don't nobody care. But they will care if you're like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to stumble on my words like that. Then everybody gonna be like, oh, this motherfucker is just look at this motherfucker. Can't even talk. But that's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? People notice things, but at the same time, noticing something is one thing, caring about it is another. And oftentimes people don't care about shit unless you care about it. If you're insecure about something, other people will notice you're insecure about it. But if you're not, people don't really care. All right, now we got we got the U.S. sending more troops to the Middle East because, of course, we are, because we're military. That's what we do. The military industrial complex is one of the largest reasons we're as wealthy and powerful as we are. So this is what we do. This should be to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Should you be upset about it? Of course, you should be upset about it. Should you be surprised about it? No, you should not. The U.S. is sending a few thousand more troops to the Middle East to boost security. The U.S. is sending a, quote, few thousand troops to the Middle East to bolster security and to defend Israel if necessary. Of course, because, despite the fact that Israel, well, Netanyahu specifically is like, oh shit, I was killing people and taking shit in Gaza. Now I'm gonna do the same thing in Lebanon. Matter of fact, while I'm at it, why don't we just expand Israel? Let's just take over 3 or 4 countries and just turn Israel into a mini empire while we're at it. Because clearly that's what he's trying to do. But we got to defend Israel, because they need it. We got to defend them. The Pentagon said Monday the announcement follows word that Israel has already launched limited raids across the border into Lebanon. Why? Because he's trying to expand Israel. That's why. The additional forces would raise the total number of troops in the region to as many as 43,000. But again, this is what we do. Like a lot of a lot of the oil markets are defended and protected by us. That's why we're there. that is why the United States and why the rest of the world fights for positions in the Middle East, because all the goddamn oil that's there. If it wasn't all that oil there, it wouldn't give a damn. The increased presence will involve multiple fighter jet and attack aircraft squadrons. Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina Singh told reporters U.S. officials in the total includes small numbers of the troops, and not just the oil, but our allies over there. So anytime Israel, Israel's beefing up shit with all these other people, like, oh, Israel's our allies, so we can't punish them in any way. We have to keep sending them weapons, and we have to, because it's what we do. It's what America does. Okay, a bunch of jets and F-16s and 22s. I don't know what the hell any of this shit means. But again, of course, this is what we do. This is what we do. Now, where are we at now? C-SPAN. Let's go to C-SPAN. But thank you, Saul Life, Greater Israel. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm not somebody who, I don't talk about this that much because there's just other people who are more knowledgeable about foreign affairs. But I agree with what Donald, what you just said. Netanyahu's like he just seems to be in a really bad spot politically. Because half the damn world is really upset with him and tired of him. He continuously denies a ceasefire because he just doesn't want a ceasefire. So no matter what deal you put in front of him, he's just going to keep rejecting it. And now he's doing all this shit in Lebanon. So it's like, bro, you better be careful, man. Because while the United States does kind of endlessly support Israel, bro, if you get too out of line, nobody's untouchable, man. But yeah. Netanyahu is completely out of his goddamn mind. That dude is crazy and delusional too. Netanyahu is a delusional motherfucker. All right, now this is just a little bit of fun, a little bit of fun right here. Let me scroll up here a little bit. All right, I don't have time to be racist, then blames Jim Crow on black voters. This is just, I guess, a typical Trump caller here in the C-SPAN.
Okay, Mary in Ohio, Republican line. You're next. Yes, I feel like Kamala. I don't feel. I know that Kamala is a sheep in wolf's clothing, and I wanted to talk about Akeem Jeffries. Whenever he gets on the television, he calls Trump supporters MAGA Republicans, white supremacy, just anything. And he'll say it like 5 times within 1 minute. Okay? I am a 63-year-old woman who has worked all her life. I don't have time to be racist. I've been too busy working and trying to put a roof over my head.
What does that even mean? I don't have time to be racist. Of course you have time to be racist, because racism is just a way of thinking. It's a point of view. It's a way of understanding the world. So of course you have time.
And take care of my family. And I told my grandkids not to be guilty for anything they haven't done. Slavery, Jim Crow laws.
I'm not a racist. That's why I told my children, hey, don't feel guilty about anything that you benefit from. God damn it. It's not your fault. I didn't say it was my fault, Mom. Yeah, well, people are going to try to tell you that it's your fault. And it's not.
And the black people, the black men voted in for the Jim Crow laws back in 1872. And that's a history that black people don't want out there. They actually helped vote those people in that made those laws. And all those people that were under that bridge.
He's looking he looking like, okay. What is this woman talking about? He looked like he ready to hang up on her ass too. You know what? Jim Crow laws came about because of black people. You know, they don't want to accept that, but it's all you guys' fault. Apparently, at one point, you niggas thought that this was what you needed.
September of 2021, those Haitians, they were all living in Brazil and Chile. They had children born in those countries. This asylum is complete BS. They had MS-13 gang members sent to people's homes when they were foster parents.
Okay. Jane in
He said, okay. He said, okay, Jane in Illinois, thank you for calling.
They had MS-13 gang members sent to people's homes when they were foster parents.
Okay. Jane in
He said, okay. I would have been on the same shit. Like, I don't really know what to say. Okay, I can't say that you're correct because you're not, and I'm not going to engage. Right, exactly. He was looking like, can I just hang up right now? But look, y'all. I told y'all we was gonna have a bit of a shorter stream today, and we still got it to over an hour. But thank y'all for joining me today. Thank you, Lady F&T, for 4 months of membership. Thank you, everybody, for everything that you do. It really, really does mean a lot, and we're making progress. And again, I had a phone call earlier with a really cool guy out in LA. I'll be making some content with him after the election. So all my additional programming, I've been trying to do it here and there, but it just makes more sense to do it after the election. Let's let all this shit just be done, so that the algorithms can change up a little bit, and it'd just be better to do it then. But thank y'all, everybody, for joining me. Y'all have a fantastic evening, and I will see you tomorrow.